Hi, welcome to Plus Promotions. My name is Dylan. Today I'm going to be just running through some information that I pick up on during the day that I think could be useful for people who are generally looking to go down the process of digital marketing or website development. So one of the issues that we came across today is changing agency. So how would you go about changing agency? Is it a difficult process? What are the pros and cons, and what should you be worried about, and what shouldn't you be worried about, and how can you handle a changeover? So from our process, we don't necessarily think it needs to be like a hard changeover. We think a soft changeover can be good as well, where basically you're combining the two parties. So when we start working with the client, we'll do a detailed report into what we believe the client needs. If your other agency isn't delivering that, maybe they're delivering quite strong returns in another area. So some agencies are really good at like content creation, and maybe they're making sales through social that way for you. So in this case, basically we did the report, and the other agency that are currently working are, I suppose, too busy. They don't have capacity to handle the project. We do have scope to be able to handle multiple projects. We pretty much have a very large ceiling above us in terms of scope of work that we can take on. So basically we did the report for the client. We ran through the report. He highlighted that the other agency had been notified of these issues, and that they were literally saying to him that we're too busy to actually get around to doing this. So he just plugged us in, and we started, and we're covering the other work that they can't cover. Okay, so how will that progress over time? Well, possibly that the other agency get phased out and we can take over all of the projects, or possibly that the other agency find the niche that they're like really good at and do have scale to work in. We have a huge amount of scale on the technical side. I suppose on the content production side, we're limited in terms of our scale, so we tend to try to work on larger projects for that type of stuff, which would be video creation, etc. But you know, you can either do a hard stop with an existing agency. You can blend the two of us together, and we can work together. Generally, you kind of want to keep good relationships with all agencies that you are working with, all creative agencies and all digital agencies. I think if you create good relationships there, and you end the relationships on amicable terms, nothing negative really can happen. Generally, where you get into problem is where something negative happens, or you end on bad terms. Sometimes that can create some sort of animosity, which is best to avoid really in all situations. It's always best to come to some sort of an amicable conclusion with an agency that you're working with. So the things that you need to be aware of and kind of protect yourself against is that, you know, it's a good idea to own your own hosting. Look, we provide hosting to certain clients. They don't want to deal with it. They're happy working with us. That's fine. You know, have control over your own domain. Again, a great one to have. You know, if the other agency have it and you want to move them on, they might make it tricky for you. Now, legally they can't. Look, if you're not paying up, they can make a problem then for sure. But if you have paid, you're not really going to have an issue. But yeah, so when you're changing over agency, things to remember: control, good terms, working together. So us working alongside other agencies, and I suppose having each agency prove their worth, and you can scale up and scale down over time. And communication is probably a big one as well. So just letting everyone know like who's working on what and who's responsible for, let's say, the website, the search engine optimization, the pay-per-click advertising, who's responsible for the content production, who's reporting to who, and then you have metrics to see who's performing and who's not performing. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you.